The street lights here have a way of dying. Not all at once, but one by one, surrendering to the thick, rolling fog that crawls in from the old marshes just past midnight. Tonight, the fog is a living thing, a heavy, wet blanket that smothers sound and sight. It's so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat, a frantic drum against the silence. But tonight, there's another sound, a soft, rhythmic tapping. Tap, 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 distant but steady, like a metronome counting down to something. I just stepped out for some air, a foolish idea in this weather. The cold seeps right into your bones. I stood there on my porch, listening. The tapping seemed to come from the end of the block, where the last working streetlight cast a sickly yellow halo into the gloom. At first I thought it was a branch against a window pane, or maybe a loose shutter. But the rhythm was too perfect, too deliberate. Tap, tap, tap. It never wavered. Curiosity, that stupid, fatal human trait, got the better of me, my eyes fixed on that lone light. The fog swirled around me, creating shifting, monstrous shapes in the periphery. Every rustle of leaves, every drip of condensation from a tree branch, sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. The tapping grew a little louder with each step. Tap, tap, tap. It had a strange quality to it, a dry, hollow sound, like bone on asphalt. As I got closer, a shape began to resolve itself within the hazy glow of the streetlight. It was tall and impossibly thin, a stark black silhouette against the yellow fog. A person? No, it couldn't be. The proportions were all wrong. The limbs were too long, jointed at angles that defied anatomy. It stood perfectly still for a moment, and then it moved. It took a step and another. It wasn't walking. It was lurching. Each movement was a jerky, unnatural contortion. With every step, one of its long, spindly arms would swing down and strike the ground. Tap. It would take another step, and the other arm would strike. Tap. That was the source of the sound. The walker, that's what my mind screamed. My blood ran cold. This wasn't right. This wasn't real. My instincts took over, a primal fear that bypassed all rational thought. Hide. I had to hide. I ducked behind the thick trunk of an old oak tree, pressing my body flat against the rough bark. My heart hammered against my ribs so loud I was sure the creature could hear it. I risked a peek around the side. It was closer now, maybe halfway down the block. Its lurching gait was hypnotic and terrifying. Tap, tap. The sound was louder, more distinct. It echoed in the oppressive silence of the street. It seemed to be moving without purpose, just methodically making its way down the road, its long arms striking the pavement with that chilling rhythm. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it would just pass by. Let it pass, just let it pass. But the tapping didn't fade. It grew louder. Tap, tap. It was right next to the tree. I held my breath, every muscle in my body tensed, ready to bolt. The air grew still. The tapping stopped. Silence. A silence more terrifying than the sound it replaced. Did it see me? Did it know I was here? I stayed frozen for what felt like an eternity, listening for any sign, any sound at all. Nothing. Just the muffled drip, drip of water from the leaves above. Slowly, cautiously, I opened my eyes and dared to look again. It was gone. The street under the light was empty. Relief washed over me, so potent it almost made my knees buckle. It was just a hallucination. The fog, the late hour. My mind was playing tricks on me. I let out a shaky breath I hadn't realized I was holding. And then I heard it. Tap. It was behind me. Close. So close I could feel the vibration through the ground. I didn't scream. The sound was trapped in my throat. I just ran. I sprinted away from the tree, away from the sound, my feet pounding on the wet asphalt. I didn't look back. I just ran, pure animal terror propelling me forward. The tapping started again, but now it was different. Faster. Erratic. Tap, dash, tap, dash, tap. Tap, tap. It was keeping pace with me. No, it was gaining. I pumped my arms, my lungs burning, my legs screaming in protest. The fog was disorienting. I couldn't tell where I was going. Street lights and houses blurred into a gray smear. Tap, 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 tap. The sound was right at my heels now, a frantic, chaotic drumming that matched the frantic, chaotic beating of my own heart. I saw a narrow gap between two houses up ahead an alley, a shortcut, a way out. Without thinking, I veered sharply and plunged into the darkness between the buildings. My shoulders slammed against a brick wall, the impact rattling my teeth. I stumbled but kept moving, my hands outstretched, feeling my way through the pitch-black passage. The tapping grew more distant behind me. I had a chance. I could make it. I pushed forward, a desperate hope surging within me. And then my outstretched hands hit a solid surface. A wall. A high chain-link fence topped with barbed wire. A dead end? No. No, no, no. I spun around, my back pressing against the cold fence. The entrance to the alley was a faint, gray rectangle against the deeper blackness, and standing in that rectangle was the silhouette. It stood there, motionless, its impossible frame filling the narrow opening. The tapping had stopped again. The only sound was my own ragged, desperate gasps for air. It was toying with me. It had herded me here. Slowly, deliberately, it began to move into the alley, its lurching, disjointed walk more horrifying than ever in the enclosed space. It took a step. A long, spindly arm scraped against the brick wall with a sound like nails on a chalkboard. The darkness of the alley was absolute, but somehow its form was even blacker, a void in the shape of a man. I was trapped. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I could feel the cold radiating from it, a tomb-like chill that had nothing to do with the midnight air. It raised its head, and even though I couldn't see a face, I felt its gaze on me. It took one final, lurching step, and now it was inches away. The air crackled with a silent, terrifying energy. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable. The world went completely silent. The tapping was gone. My own breathing was gone. Everything was gone. And in that perfect, suffocating void, a single dry whisper echoed directly in my ear. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Stay safe and always be aware of the sounds you hear in the dead of night.